Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Untitled Tarot and to my late full moon readings. I tried to start on the full moon yesterday. If you saw the one reading that I did present, I was having technical issues. But I really enjoy doing these Gods at Play readings, looking at the opposing forces that may be working with us over the past. Well, for today's reading, it's an interesting one because it could be for the next 2 weeks, waiting up until the new moon, and we're clearing out of the whole Cancer Capricorn cycle, which this lunar eclipse last night, which was not a good one. Listening to all the astrologers, it's not good. It could be, obviously, for the next 4 weeks, working up until the next full moon. It could be for the next 6 months, working all the way towards the next eclipse, which I think is on the winter solstice. It's interesting that this year, which is remarkable for having 6 eclipses rather than 4, that the eclipses are actually smack bang on the solstice points. So, just in case you hadn't noticed, 2020 is a really big year. And of course, there's nothing going on in the world that would give you that impression, is there? Right, so I look at the opposing forces here. This is a... you could ask a question beforehand. It's not the sort of reading where I guarantee that you will actually get an answer because, as I say, we are looking at the forces. We are looking at the energies that are at play. I have 2 rows on my reading. The top row is looking at the gods as archontic masks, as in forces that are designed to oppress us, to press us down and keep us separated from the divine. The bottom row is a more pagan view of the gods, where they are free natural forces, independent entities and energies in and of their own right, and they are working to lift us up. Now, I come from a philosophy where, within reason, and there's a comment in itself, but within reason, everything is true. Everything is real. So I can see the effects of the archontic masks of the gods, and I can see the gods. I have more of a pagan background than not. So it's I have Gnostic leanings as well. So the two sort of clash against one another. And there's always the thought that the pagan gods, if there are only archons and then the angels above them, then the pagan gods that we work with are egregores, astral creations of mankind. But these pagan gods, these egregores, are old creations of mankind. They'll have gained some wisdom and some energy and some power along the way. I don't personally think that they are egregores, although I do think that there are egregores of them, if that makes sense. Anyway, way too technical. Let's me get on to dealing the cards. So it's a general reading. There's not even an element of take what resonates necessarily because it's not that sort of reading. You can have a look at the energies and then observe to see whether they're at play or not in your life, and you're not necessarily going to know while watching the reading right now. But don't take my words as gospel, but also do watch your sun, your moon and your rising signs. I think certainly in a lunar eclipse month, watch your moon. Definitely. Watch your sun sign because, as Soul Garden TV says, Chris Witecki, that's your first story, your primary story. Your rising sign is the secondary story. Although in ancient astrology, your rising sign was the most important. But when we're dealing with moon readings, I think the moon features in there somewhere. So if you don't know what your moon and rising sign are, there's a link down below in the description. Follow that through to, I think it's a Cafe Astrology one, but AstroSeek is really good as well, because you can do all sorts of little, like change the house system that you're working with, and do you want to see asteroids or not. So I think I should start putting the AstroSeek link in there as well. There's also a link down there for a Facebook page for the channel. Now that has its own inbox, so if you want to contact me directly for a personal reading via that, you can do. I post all of these videos obviously, and all the astrology videos that I watch, and sometimes other, well, as I call it, in a respectful and reverent fashion, all the hocus pocus nonsense that I watch, because people can get too serious with this, and the whole point of existence is supposed to be working towards joy, isn't it? You know, so, you know, yes, take it seriously, but don't take it too seriously. You know, have a sense of humour about it, because the world is ludicrous. The fact that we chose to do this as incarnate souls is ludicrous, and so it's worth a smile. Yeah, I think that's it for the housekeeping. So, like I say, looking at the opposing energies, because full moon, sun opposed moon. All right, let me bring up the cards. And as ever, there is a timestamp in the description below. So if you've just joined us after the timestamp, welcome Sagittarius Moon and Sagittarius Rising. Now, there is a sort of common theme with all the other readings I've performed so far, because you're number 9, aren't you? With Aries at the start, there's definitely a call to action, a call to combat, a call to war, that seems to be coming through all of these readings. Yeah, just to cheer you up. However, a lot of the other readings are all about public pressure and pressure from others to join in, to jump on the bandwagon. Now, you don't seem to have this. You seem to be... Well, we've got Aries here opposed by Odin, and under this Gods and Titans oracle, he symbolises guidance, but it's almost like you are your own guidance, but then again, you are the sign of the guru. But I believe that you need to be acting on your guidance, even if things seem confusing, and even if there are unruly factors around you that you cannot quite rein in, because I'm thinking of Odin's relationship with Thor and Loki, where your best bet is staying close to home, is providing making your home a sacred space, and not necessarily being called out on the bandwagon, and to fall for the idea that you couldn't possibly know what's best here. This is what Bellerophon, as symbolising humility here in the oppressive row that's pressing down, is saying to me, it's almost like you're being encouraged to think, hang on a minute, how would you know? You haven't got access to all the facts and figures, not like whoever would be. But you know that going down this more competitive path is the wrong thing to do. It feels wrong. It's almost like going down this competitive path, you are offered protection, Hecate here. And it's almost like I got this when I was dealing out, that there is a mystical force trying to draw you into the idea of destroying something or helping eradicate something. That could be read both ways in the current political situation, couldn't it? Okay, that card wants to come out. But the fact is, it's a bit of a risk either way. And I do think that you are far more able to destroy that which is harmful closer to home. But more to the point, Kali here, but Kali is supporting you. More to the point of letting the chips fall where they may. And if you've protected your homestead, whatever that is, you know, work, family, home, or, you know, a philosophy that you are particularly loyal to, there will be changes that come through anyway, and the rubbish, the dross, will be got rid of. But it's almost like you are told that you will be protected if you are joining into this effort, when all it does is lead you into conflict. You are told that there will be benefits for you diving into this conflict, when all it does is invite that tower. Invite the tower moment. Invite the way for things to be knocked down. Rely far more upon yourself, happiness with yourself, act with balance in the homestead, and just basically work to go with your guidance. And I think you will be quite confused at the end with the wisdom that you have received by standing back and watching what is actually destroyed. Because Kali here, remember, Kali is a force that is supporting you here. So she is destroying that which is harmful or negative or irrelevant to you. And she's clarified here by the Ten of Cups. Better than wish fulfillment. Happiness. Happy, happy, joy, joy. You know, so there is a matter of where, I think the last reading, you know, there's that, there's an old, I think it's Japanese proverb that goes along the lines of the nail that sticks out the most is the first one to get hit. Now, with Scorpio, I was telling them exactly to be that nail. But for yourself, it's more a draw back. You don't need to be as public. You just need to go, not doing that. Not getting involved with that, because it's going for the wrong reasons. Even though there is a highly compulsive force, whether it's societal or whether it's peer pressure from friends, whether it's political. And this has appeared in quite a few readings. So summit's happening over the next 6 months. But then again, hey, we all have our 2020 Apocalypse bingo cards by now. But something's happening, and your best bet is to say no, but just to step back quietly, tend to your own, and allow the destruction to wash around you, because you end up the better for it. But do not get sucked in to this whole drumbeat of war. I'd love to say less than that, and it could be drumbeat of war on a personal level, you know, not necessarily nation against nation. But it is nonetheless a drumbeat of war. And Manakel here comes with the astrological significance of knowledge of good and evil. I think I can leave that one there. I will say, like I say, this theme has been going through all of the readings, or variations on this theme. It looks to me like that from this, Sagittarius, that you're better stepping back for the moment and let signs like Scorpio be the front charge against it. and you're the one that looks after the hearth and home to look after them once they're finished or once they return. Because it's a balancing act, but what all of this promises, because remember Dionysus, here is a card for merrymaking. But the Dionysian cult is all about transformation. So this transformation is coming at the end in a way that you will not be expecting. Again, clarified by the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man, who is based on the symbol of Odin, hanging upside down on the world tree, paying his eye for 7 days and 7 nights, hanging upside down there to gain cosmic wisdom. That's an interesting future. So it could be as much as stepping back from a bickering situation in work or in the family to being able to be the next Schindler, if I've got that right in my head. I've never seen Schindler's List. I've never actually, I have to hold my hand up, I've never seen Schindler's List. But I mean, it is so talked about that I'm hoping Schindler is the guy that was smuggling everybody out. Else I've just said something really nasty. But on the assumption that Schindler was the guy shoveling everybody out and helping them escape, then you can be the next Schindler. But that's later. And you have to refer that to your own personal circumstances. You know, I'm not saying that there is a World War III coming up. May well be some media wars though. Right, okay, so happiness aside, let's talk about something more serious. If this means anything to you, Sagittarius, comment down below. It's always good to receive your feedback. I try and answer the same day. YouTube doesn't always tell me the comments are there. So ever so often I was like, where have these comments from 2 weeks ago appeared from? Like, share and subscribe, obviously. I mean, hey, I'm foretelling the, you know, the world collapsing into war, so, you know, why not? In for a penny. But your next readings, I have no idea what they're going to be, because it's been a bit chaotic between either the influence of the eclipse or Mercury retrograde, or basically just work and chaos. There will be more readings. The next readings that I need to sit down and do are the Chinese zodiac readings, so come back and stay posted for that. There is a list down below of my July Western zodiac readings, and the Chinese ones will just be tapped on to the end of that like they were last time. Okay, Sag, good luck. Cheers.